Hi, let's continue developing our instrument project. In this tutorial, we'll focus on the PLC I/O card and how its connection wiring is handled inside Cadmatic Electrical. To keep this example structured and easy to follow, we'll begin by defining a new process called automation. This is just for demonstration, so we clearly separate the automation scope from the rest of the project. Inside this new process, we'll create a section named PLC System. Now, if we right-click on this section, you'll see the option to create a new location. This is where we define the physical cabinet structure. We'll create a new PLC cabinet and name it PLC01. At this stage, we can also enter practical details such as the cabinet height, width, and depth. Defining these dimensions helps align the digital configuration with the real installation in the field. Once we confirm by clicking OK, the cabinet appears immediately in the hierarchy binding. Now let's continue by selecting the PLC01 location and creating a new I/O rack. For this example, we'll name it R1. The rack acts as the physical holder for our PLC cards, so everything we add next will sit inside this structure. Under this rack, we can create I/O cards, either manually or by selecting a predefined product model from the library. In this case, we'll choose an 8-channel analog input card. Once selected, we can define the starting input address, for example, 100. Under the I/O card details tab, you can review and confirm the configuration. When we switch to the I/O channel tab, all 8 channels are clearly generated, starting from PIW, giving us a structured and transparent addressing setup ready for signal assignment. On the right-hand side, you'll notice the I/O tab, where all available signals from the project database are listed. From here, assigning signals to the PLC card is very straightforward. You simply drag and drop the required I/O point onto the desired channel. As soon as it is attached, the status updates automatically to show that it is connected. You can also verify this directly within the I/O tab, where the connection status is clearly displayed. The same approach works in the opposite direction as well, meaning you can assign an I/O card channel to a specific signal just as easily. If you are working with multiple signals, you can select several at once and connect them in a single step, which makes the configuration process much faster and keeps everything accurately synchronized inside the database. I/O card connection reporting is an important part of instrumentation and automation projects. In Cadmatic Electrical, this information can be generated easily using the report function. Here we already have a saved report setting specifically prepared for the I/O card connection report. When we run this report, the system automatically reads all the relevant data from the project database related to PLC card connections. We can open the preview to quickly review the information before publishing the document. The report is generated in Excel format, and it is fully customizable. Now let's understand how the I/O card connections actually work. To complete this wiring properly, we need internal marshalling through a terminal group. So we move to the Terminal Blocks tab and create a new terminal strip, which we'll name T11. Once created, you can immediately see this terminal strip under the PLC01 cabinet in the hierarchy binding on the left side. To speed things up, we use the Generate Multiple Terminal Blocks option. Here, we define a starting number and the total quantity, for example 16. After confirming, terminal blocks numbered 1 through 16 are created instantly, giving us a clean and structured marshalling setup. Now we move to the actual connection wiring. This can be done either as internal wiring or by using a prefab cable. In this tutorial, we'll use a cable approach. We select a 16-core 0.5 square millimeter cable. and create a new cable named W11. From the cable type list, we choose the predefined type we prepared earlier. Once created, if we open the wire view, all core numbers and their respective colors are automatically displayed. The same details are available under the Wire tab, where we can now select all wires and use the wire connection option. A new window opens, reading all available cores, and this is where we assign the from and to devices. In our case, the cable runs from I/O card R1-1 to the marshalling terminal T11. After selecting these locations, the system fills the from and to columns accordingly. If at any point something is assigned incorrectly, we can use the Remove Wire Connection option, which clears all existing connections and allows us to reassign them cleanly. You can also select multiple wires at once and assign them to the From device in a single step. When we do this, the system automatically fills each row starting from pin number 1. If the required pin numbers are not already available, the software will automatically generate new pin numbers for the connection. Here we can also see signal labels such as U+, I-, and S-, which actually come from the I/O card pin configuration. These signal pin assignments are important, especially for generating correct loop drawings later in the project. If needed, we can also perform manual connections. For example, in this case, the correct pins might be 1, 2, 6, and 7. This configuration is typically repeated for all 8 channels of the card. If we reassign these pins manually, the software automatically removes the previous connection and replaces it with the new one. You can also verify the correct mapping by checking the signal column on the right side. Even without drawing the wiring in CAD, it is possible to manage these connections directly through the database. In the same way, we can assign the tow device, which in our example is the terminal strip T11. Again, we can select all wires together and use the Generate option to automatically assign the terminal pins. After confirming, both the From and To columns display the correct pin connections. Once we click OK, the database is updated with all the connection information. If we return to the Terminal Blocks tab and refresh the view, we can see the terminal blocks highlighted in green, along with the wire numbers and device pin details listed under the Incoming Wires section. Next, we may also need a cable connection schedule for documentation. This can be generated using the Report function. Here we already have a saved report setting prepared for the cable connection schedule. When we open the preview, the system reads all the relevant wiring information from the project database and displays the wire connection data clearly. These reports are fully customizable. Once we confirm by clicking Next, the report is added to our project documentation. Now, if we go to the Documents tab and refresh the view, we can see the newly generated report for cable W11. Opening this document shows the complete cable connection details, including the wiring information we just defined. In this way, we can easily produce a structured wiring connection report or cable schedule directly from the project database. With that, we have completed the PLC-I/O card connection workflow, and hopefully this tutorial has shown you a clear and practical approach to managing PLC wiring inside Cadmatic Electrical. Thank you for watching.